Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
In answer to his question about the subjects.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Commands, Talk Today.
Oh, what a compliment. For that, I thank you.
What is happening now? There are hopeless and hungry.
Now it's time for us to stand up to God or we fall to nothing.
It's time now for Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Listening to the general public, what the public is saying.
Good afternoon, Cayman Islands. This is Kathy Miller. I'm filling in this afternoon for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. He is unable to do Talk Today, but hopefully he'll return with us tomorrow. And on this segment of Talk Today, we have open line for the entire afternoon. So I'm really going to need you guys to give me a call because the topics that I want to discuss, we're going to start with the blocking of the mental health facility. I think that's a really important subject for us to discuss. Give me your calls. Let me know what your thoughts are. The numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037 or 949-6990. You can also WhatsApp your thoughts to 925-3261. I'm going to throw it right back to Susan for a little disclaimer, and then we'll be right back to start Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Commands, Talk Today.
All right, good afternoon, Cayman Islands. This is Kathy Miller filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks on Talk Today this afternoon. And again, I'm asking for your calls this afternoon so we can have a bit of a discussion as we have open line all day on Talk Today. The numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp us your thoughts at 925-3261. Now, it's the new year, so it's a new year, same me, just getting a little bit better. And what comes with the new year, a lot of resolutions people like to make, right? So I kind of want to ask you, Susan, if you made some resolutions, but I know you're not going to answer me right now. I can say I have not, besides continuously just working on the things I always do work on. And one of those things for me is always my well-being. And I think for a lot of us, our well-being and making sure that we're in a good space, that we do feel peace and love and safety, and that we have the resources to survive and move forward with life. So well-being for me is extremely important, and trying to find some sort of a balance that works for me so I can be the most kind of productive person I can be, and also as good of a friend as I can be to those who need me as a friend and a family member. So well-being is important. And in that being said, for the past decade or so, we've been working on a mental health facility that's going to go in East End, right? So we know that this week we had some really big news with psychiatrist Dr. Mark Lockhart, who has resigned from his position. I'm going to read you an article by CNS, but before I read this article that was on CNS, it's a really well-written article, a lot of information in here. Keep in mind that there were approximately 100 teen suicide attempts in the Cayman Islands between 2020 and 2021, with attempts having increased by 72%. granted, that's also was a bit of a lockdown time for us. While things seemingly have got better, they haven't really at the same time, because we've been hit on all sides, especially with financial constraints. So it seemed as soon as we could come back outside, it was very expensive to do so. and we keep seeing that cost go up. So I gave you a teen suicide attempt rate in the Cayman Islands. So trust when I say that number is much more higher than that, because we're just looking at the teens when we give that number. We're not looking at adults or children younger than adolescents. We're not looking at them either. So it's a very real issue in the Cayman Islands that cannot be ignored, no matter what your cultural norms may point to. To go into the article by Dr. Mark Lockhart, in regards to his resignation. Local psychiatrist Dr. Mark Lockhart has resigned in frustration as chair of the Mental Health Commission after his efforts to keep the long-awaited mental health facility project moving forward, and have been met with an anemic response. Speaking to CNS, he said the blockage was inside the ministry, as Minister Sabrina Turner, like her predecessors, was fully behind opening the center, which is now finished as soon as possible. But senior civil servants appear to be standing in the way. Dr. Lockhart said his concerns were not a matter of disgruntled individual making complaints over infighting, but a genuine exasperation as a result of the failure of government officials inside the health ministry to execute a plan for opening the facility. He said that the basic but critical issues, such as how the facility will be managed and operated, who will be working in it, and organizing the operational budget, have not been addressed. He said it was heartbreaking for all of those who have been involved in this to see the facility finished but standing empty because the bureaucrats have not even begun to do their part. He said that from the beginning, the ministry has said that it, not the Health Services Authority or any other entity, would manage the facility. Dr. Lockhart said that throughout the whole process, the Commission had raised the question about how and when that would happen and suggested how it could be done, but the issue was constantly ignored. Innovative ideas put to the ministry to have a private sector entity manage the mental health care center and staff it under a public-private partnership were ignored and viewed with suspicion and criticism, but there is no other plan in place. The CI $15 million project is a 54-bed residential and daycare facility consisting of cottages with 2 major buildings on a 50,000 square foot site in East End. It is expected to provide a home for Caymanians suffering from mental health problems who are on island and in need of residential care, as well as a number of patients currently in facilities overseas. But more than 3 years after the official groundbreaking, the chance of those patients moving in anytime soon seems a long way off because, Dr. Lockhart said, the ministry has not even begun work on the job descriptions. There are no plans for staffing. There are no plans for preparing the facility to receive the patients. There are no plans for training, for hiring staff, for job descriptions, he said. I feel there is a lack of situational awareness from the actuality of what is happening in the community and the extent of the mental health problems we face, as well as the strategy needed to move this project forward. He said the Mental Health Commission had helped every step of the way, but the struggle is getting a response. The commission, he said, was written multiple times to the ministry offering to meet with them. With suicide attempts among teens up 72% between 2020 and 2021, and some 100 suicide attempts among the young people last year, the post-COVID environment remains challenging. But there are only 11 mental health beds for the entire country at the hospital, and all of them are full. Ending his time on the commission, which he has chaired since 2015, was not what he wanted. That's what Dr. Lockhart said, as he will still be very much on the front line of the mental health challenge in Cayman and would continue to treat patients. But by stepping down from the commission and raising the alarm, he hopes to end the inertia at the ministry and get things moving. That article can be found on CaymanNewsService.com. So if you'd like to reread that and maybe have a look at some of the comments that are there, please do so, because it is a really big issue. And it really makes no sense as to why the mental health facility seemingly, allegedly, is being blocked by senior government officials. Why would you not want to move as fast as possible, considering all the help that you have from the private sector, to open the facility and serve your Caymanian people who are in dire need of mental health? How are you not ashamed of not having this facility ready to open? How do you not look at this as your responsibility? How do you not consider yourself accountable for the rising issues that are going on in the Cayman Islands when it comes to mental wellness and mental health? How do we not put our people as a priority and their well-being? Those are the questions I have for you. We're going to go to a break. Please do call me back. 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp us at 925-3261.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointments.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences. Increase your chances to win during the Rubis Pure Joy promotion. Don't miss Double Stamp Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jose's Rubis. Reflections offers you gas for less, and each time you fuel up at Jose's Rubis, you can enter to win weekly prize giveaways, plus the grand prize of a beautiful piece of land in Grand Cayman.
I'm sorry, what?
What did you say? Yes, Double Stamp Tuesdays and Thursdays are back at Jose's. Lower priced fuel, awesome prizes, and your chance to win a $150,000 piece of land. Don't forget, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jose's Rubis, you not only get gas for less, you get double stamps to enter to win a $150,000 piece of land in the Rubis Pure Joy promotion. Be entered to win in the Rubis Pure Joy promotion by January 27th.
CUC reminds you to always be aware of power lines. Electricity can be very dangerous. It cannot be seen, but it can be lethal. Do not loosen or come into contact with the guy wires or guy rods at the base of poles. These guy wires and rods are marked with a yellow plastic covering. Damage to these wires and rods can result in service interruptions or injuries to the public. Safety first at CUC.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad had taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Listening to the general public.
The Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman.
waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
Yes, what is the public saying? We want to know what the public is saying, right? So do give us a call, 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, or 949-6990. You can also WhatsApp me at 925-3261. And this is Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks this afternoon on Talk Today. I'd open the segment reading a news article from CaymanNewsService.com about Dr. Lockhart resigning from the Mental Health Commission after all their attempts in opening the mental health facility in East End, it being ready to be open for some time now, for some reason, and apparently it's coming from senior civil servants, there is a delay in opening this facility. No job descriptions are out there, no planning. There's really no strategy coming in when the facility is actually open, allegedly, as was described in this article that I read before the break. So I do want to know what people are thinking. How do you feel about government allegedly dragging their feet on this? To have somebody as widely respected as Dr. Lockhart is step down, some people might think, oh man, he just gave up, you got to fight the good fight kind of thing. Some people might think that he didn't do the right thing, and if he's really for the people and the wellness of people, that he would still be there fighting. But sometimes you get a lot further when you're able to do that in your own lane. When you're in traffic and the people aren't letting you get anywhere, you can't make any headway. You've got to get in your own lane and focus on your lane, and you'll end up miles ahead of people. So I understand why Dr. Lockhart would have stepped down. It's frustrating putting all your efforts somewhere into making something happen, something that you've very much championed, that apparently the community and the country and the government also is championing mental wellness. We need to address this. We need to provide proper facilities and better care for people who are suffering. We need to help them. We need to help our people. So when you're part of a group that is trying to get this done and nothing's really happening, I understand wanting to step down, because sometimes it's a group that just kind of drags everything down in itself. You kind of got to get out of that bucket, do your own thing, and hopefully what you're doing, people will be inspired enough by that and you can reach down and pull them up to join you. That's what it seems that Dr. Lockhart might have to take that lane for himself and for what he wishes to do in helping people in Cayman who are suffering with mental health. Do we blame senior government officials for this not being open? Are they fully to blame? What are the obstacles that they might be going through or just perhaps creating? I mean, when you worked here long enough, you understand how things go. So what are those obstacles that are possibly happening that are preventing the senior civil servants from opening this mental health facility in East End? Will they be held accountable? What does it mean to hold somebody accountable? Do we ever really hold people accountable, especially in senior government positions? The ministry, who are responsible for running and managing the facility, has not even put out job descriptions or begun staff planning. That's a process that should have been done months ago. So, and that should be pretty self-explanatory. That should be pretty logical for people to understand. We're opening a facility, we got to get that part of the project going, but then parallel to that, are we going to have the staff and everybody ready, bang on ready for when those doors could be open? Because those doors could have been open months ago. And we're still not ready. And there's still no plans, allegedly, for them. I don't know. I'm just a civil servant low on the totem pole, so I can just react to what is going on, what I do see out there. And another huge concern I would have, so if the ministry is dragging their feet on opening this facility, they're the ones who are responsible for managing and staffing it, right? Running the facility. 100% responsible for this. Doesn't that make you worried that they're definitely not going to manage it correctly? It's not even managed correctly right now, and it hasn't even been opened. Do we want to leave that responsibility with the Ministry of Health? Should we consider more private public partnerships? One of the worries in having government solely responsible for this mental health facility, a lot of the times when it comes to cutting in the budgets, which always happens, we have to cut here, we have to cut there. A lot of the times it's your kind of like the social services that get cut. So programs like this mental health facility, funding could be cut there. So is it a good idea to have government solely in charge of this? And it seemingly is that they're very adamant about no private-public partnership. just straight government running this. And why is that so? Because so far you haven't proved to us that you can manage even opening this project. We would like to hear your thoughts. Give us a call on 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037. You can also try 949-6990 or WhatsApp us at 925-3261. I do believe we have a caller on the phone, so good afternoon. Thank you for calling Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Miss Kathy. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing?
All right. I turned on the radio to hear your voice, and after a while I said, but it sounds like Kathy's doing some little soliloquy there today all by her lonesome. Anyway, I'm happy that I got you at a time when apparently it's not a lot of competition for the call. And the little that I heard, I think I tuned in at a point where you said something like, I don't blame Dr. Lockhart for stepping down.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe there may have been a news item about which I totally missed.
Okay.
But if you, I think I got the idea though. He was.
You want me to catch you up?
Huh?
You want me to brief you on what I had said?
Exactly. Do a little recap there.
So what I did was I read an article that's on Cayman News Service.
Okay.
So I went there and I found the information about Dr. Lockhart resigning from the Mental Health Commission. He's still practicing as a psychiatrist, but he's resigned from the Mental Health Commission due to his frustrations with what seems to be senior civil servants allegedly blocking the opening of the mental health facility, which has been ready to open for quite some time now.
So you mean it's actually built? The facility is built and we're just waiting for it to open? That's what I thought I heard. So I
yes,
wanted to
that it's ready for the doors to open. But there's been no staffing, no job descriptions out. Well, clearly nothing in the paper if there's no actual job descriptions even written, allegedly. And so my thing is, I don't know, when you do business and you're ready to open, do you not try to also have your staff ready for the opening?
Okay, well, see, Kathy, we got a little problem here because we're talking about the government. And when I say government, now I'm not talking about a particular administration.
Mm-hmm.
As my experience has been, at least here in Cayman and maybe globally, the changes of administration really don't do a whole lot of anything. There's some code that's written or some manual that's handed to you as soon as you achieve or you win the election and you become a minister. And it has to be, because there's no way that people who have campaigned for years saying, we don't need 30-story buildings, we need this, we need a mental health facility, but then they get elected, they get into the position where they can do something, and suddenly it's same old, same old. So I really have, I have my own theories about what happens, and it's not normal. Really, it's not.
It's not normal. Yeah, I agree.
Why civil servants in certain positions like to make themselves look as stupid as possible continues to baffle me. It really does.
I have a theory for that too.
There's someone very near and dear to me who, after many years of proving herself as a powerhouse in the private sector, decided to switch over to government. And I have begged that person, please don't do that. Why do you want to go to a place where all that is ever said about civil servants, and I believe truthfully so, is that they do nothing. They sit there and wait for retirement age so they can collect a good pension. Now tell me why a mental health facility that's been talked about from the time I can remember, because I grew up in an area where we had mental health situations. We had people who walked the streets and couldn't help themselves. And if anything, we have more now. From the early 60s, when I would have come to, if you want to say, to knowledge, we were shipping people's relatives off to Jamaica, where some remained and languished and died in those facilities. Died up there, never getting to be near their family or their family being there. People have petitioned and begged. And Kathy, I'm not telling you something that I heard or maybe not true. The only reason I won't call names is because I don't want to, embarrass any particular family. But I know of the people that I'm telling you about. I can remember a mother who was right in the little area where I lived. I can remember seeing her dressed in full black, going to the creek landing place to wait on the boat so she could get to Jamaica to attend the funeral of her son, who had languished and died at the penitentiary in Jamaica. From then, we've had people petitioning governments and begging and begging. And here we are in 2023, and we have nowhere to send our people. These are human beings.
Exactly.
Some that you know, Kathy.
Yep.
Some that we know very well. One particular one is called a genius. And the greatest contributor to Cayman cultural arts that we know.
Yep.
Without calling names, you know, I know, and most of the people listening know.
Right.
Right? And we still don't have a place. It is a shame. It's a shame to this administration. It's a shame to the one before that. It's a shame on every single one that have been there and been in a position at least since this Cayman miracle, this financial explosion that took place starting in the 70s and continues until today. When we throw money at swine, when we waste money on what is a stupid program called NICE, there is nothing nice about NICE, Mr. Minister. You're wasting money on some of the same mental health people who need to be treated in a facility. They don't need to be out painting yellow lines. I am so tired of seeing these bright blue, yellow painted month after month. And you go to Cayman Brac and it is a constant up and down because NICE runs all year long. While NICE may be some sort of a little incentive, it is stupid to continue wasting money like that, thinking that you're fixing the problem. You are not, Mr. Government, Mr. Minister. You are letting these people think that they're okay, when in fact you're paying them $10 an hour so they can continue to feed their drug habits. They can continue to feed their alcoholism, and their depression gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Don't throw a fish, Mr. Minister. Teach them how to fish. My God, it's not rocket science. Why can't we just, somebody please have the whatever kind of fortitude, well, I call it courage. Just have the courage. Stand up. Say this is foolishness. This is the way government has operated from forever, but I'm the minister that's going to change it. I am going to be the change that the Cayman Islands need. And Mr. J. Ebanks, now I'm turning to you. You are the minister that is supposed to cut up and give us some of those acreages that government has in East End. You told me you would be working on it. The problem is not with J. Ebanks. The problem is this same institutional lethargy.
Yes.
This because Kurt Tibbetts, when he was the Minister for Land, told me that in 3 months' time, that land would have been ready and we would have been able to bid and somehow find out who was eligible to get access. Now, I don't know how many years ago it was, but a lot of stuff has gone on since then.
I was
And
counting the
said
years in
to
my
him,
head, actually, as to when the last time he was premier or leader of government business then.
Kurt
So.
was the
Yep.
minister of planning and all that at that lands at that time, and he was supposed to be working on it. So some small people, maybe even some mental health people, might have been encouraged to get a little plot and do some work. But instead, you know what I know? That the ministers are who has the farms up in East End. Now, whether it's on public, private, gifted land, stolen land, I don't care. That's not the point. The point is the former premier has his farm where he goes to relax and unwind, and he has told us that publicly when he was still the premier, right? The same minister who is no longer in government who told me he would personally see about it and we would be able to get stuff has his big farm. And I see him pushing carts into Hurley's ever so often selling off his produce, but yet those who need that little plot that they can work, that could help bring them out of their depression. There's nothing better for depression, and take it from a person who has suffered with depression for the greater part of her adult life. Me, Lorna Bush. I know what depression is. One of the best things for it, get outside, get in your garden, plant a plot, watch your plants grow, talk to them, feed them, nourish them, and when the time comes, reap them, and reap so many that you can give to friends and neighbors. It's not all about selling. It's not all about selling. One of the richest men in the Cayman Islands has a farm, and they said he wouldn't give you a guinea that dropped off his tree. Well, farming has lost its purpose for him. We need action, Kathy. We need action in every single area. Today you might be talking about mental health, and yes, I jumped on the mental health wagon because I know about the negatives and all the things that can happen. And there's nothing more important than mental health. If you have a cold or flu or diabetes, you can go to the doctor and get help. Yet with mental health, you're not even allowed to talk about it. We need to work on that. And we need to fix every other aspect of government that is not working. We have had a malfunctioning civil service for as long as I know. People waiting out their time. And they'll tell you, oh, I work for government, so it don't matter. I mean, I've had so many people say to me, oh, I work for government, so it don't matter.
Lorna, you had said something. You had said something earlier in what you were in your monologue here. Now you had a chance at a monologue, but you had said something about kind of like civil servants. That we all know that they apparently don't really do much, right? You have no idea how many younger Caymanians in their 20s, early 30s, saying, "Yeah, government's my retirement plan. I don't really have to do much. It's a good retirement plan for me." And it's not about serving the country. It's just about they know that they can relax back there. And today there was actually like a town hall meeting for the world-class civil service for, the 5-year plan to have a world-class civil service and to go over, I guess, like the results from the surveys that we all had to do. And it's interesting to me because we can talk about these things so much, but when it really comes to investing and taking care of our people, that's not being done. They don't care about you.
Oh, they're not invested in people. And I can tell you what went wrong with that 5-year plan. The person who was in charge of it and got it started, and I'll tell you, I was on the committee for reimagining the civil service, and I was actually excited that here we're going to get some input into doing something. On our briefing, we were told you can find no fault with the civil service. That's the first thing you need to remember. We're not pointing out anybody's faults. We're going to look at their good, their positives. You're not to find any fault. You're not to point out anything negative. Catherine?
I think we know that if we put a blanket over the problems, that doesn't mean they go away. They're just hidden, until that blanket gets pulled up, Lorna, I want to thank you so much. I never was going to call your name, but you said who you were. Thank you for your call and your thoughts, and especially sharing with our listening audience your own struggles with depression And it's so important that we do talk about these things because we get by through our stories. You never know who you might have just kind of helped somebody with just sharing your experience and your passion over this. It's a society that's like, we don't talk about it. We're going to hide this. This isn't, we're a little too macho for this, or that, we don't talk about these things. And all that does is separate us and keeps people in silos. And we don't need to do that. I think if anything we learned during the pandemic, during lockdown, how much we need each other. Mm-hmm. And to be compassion and humanity is you can't buy that. You can't just create it somehow. It just comes from within, and it's all in us. And we can't segregate it. We have to come together and be able to feel that you're in a space where you can share what you just shared with us, and feel that it is a safe space and I will be supported. And hopefully we can all support each other, or find a commonality in how we're feeling and see what we can do to get better all together. Because we always hear about it. It takes a village, right? It takes a village to raise kids and whatever. Oh, I don't know, the Burger King incident. All of a sudden now it's not about the village. It's about the parents. I don't agree with that either. But that again points into the mental health thing. So if we're not going to be looking at mental health seriously, look at how that trickles down to the children, to young adults.
Exactly.
So we're going to get a whole lot more of this. A whole lot more. But we we missed our break earlier because I absolutely wanted you to keep talking. So I gotta close this segment right here just to go into a commercial break and then our 1 p.m. headline news, but we will return right after the headline news. Same discussion and going to the Burger King topic as well, what happened there. So if you'd like to call back, please, I welcome you to. Thank you.
I hope others will call, but thank you.
Thank you
for that invitation. Bye-bye.
All right, and we got to a commercial break now that I missed from earlier, right, Susan?
Apply today to the Walker's Scholarship and Legal Training Program. You will join the Walker's Scholarship and Legal Training Program, knowing that you will be offered more, both throughout your time in the program and after qualifying as a Cayman Islands attorney at law. Preparing Caymanians for a career of excellence through mentorship, opportunities, repetition, and experience. Be sure to have your application submitted by 20th of February 2023. Visit the careers section at walkersglobal.com to find out more about Walker's Cayman legal scholarships, articles of clerkship, qualifying work experience, and legal internships.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
on a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Radio Cayman,
the voice,
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Water Authority Cayman advises customers along Shamrock Road of a planned service interruption on Sunday, January 15th between 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. to facilitate infrastructure work in the area. In international news, a second batch of classified documents discovered by U.S. President Joe Biden's aides were found at his home garage in Delaware, the White House said. The documents contained Obama-Biden administration records, a statement by Mr. Biden's special counsel said. A first batch of documents were found at a private office in Washington, D.C. that Mr. Biden used after his term as vice president. The matter is under review by the U.S. Department of Justice. Collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX has located more than $5 billion worth of assets, an attorney for the firm says. However, a U.S. bankruptcy court was told on Wednesday that the extent of losses to customers is still not known. Prosecutors have accused FTX's former chief executive Sam Bankman-Fried of orchestrating an epic fraud that may have cost investors, customers, and lenders billions of dollars. Mr. Bankman-Fried has pleaded not guilty to charges that he cheated investors. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born September 25th, 1947 at Watering Place, Cayman Brac, Royce Adolphus Dilbert was the firstborn son of Helen and Grace Dilbert, née Tibbets. Like many of the men of his time, he spent many years at sea. During his breaks from sea life, Mr. Dilbert employed his diverse skill sets. He worked at Alfred Scott's block factory as a mechanic with Eston Scott, and his uncle Bergman Dilbert performed dynamite blasting in Cayman Brac with the late Reverend Lee King, as well as worked at MRCU in Grand Cayman. He was also an entrepreneur selling fruits, cars, and tires, and painted and repaired vehicles. His mechanical skills proved immeasurable when in 1979, working in the Campeche Bank oil field, Mexico, his ship was chartered by Halliburton to supply material to cap the exploratory well which blew out in Mexico's Bay of Campeche. In 1981, he retired from sea and took employment with the Cayman Brac Power and Light Company as chief engineer, where he remained until his retirement in December of 2018.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Puritan Cleaners, now using the most popular and eco-friendly cleaning solvents. 2 convenient locations to serve you: Savannah Countryside and Eastern Avenue, Georgetown. Drive-through, rain or shine, free pickup and delivery services available. Call Puritan Cleaners 949-7104. Also ask about our in-house discounts. Puritan Cleaners, you feel good when you look good.
Puritan Cleaners 949-7104. That's 949-7104.
Listening to the general public.
The Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
there are more questions than answers.
Waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks today. We're hoping he will be back to join you all tomorrow for the show. So he got me this afternoon at least for a little bit longer, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. We were discussing Dr. Mark Lockhart resigning from the Mental Health Commission due to what allegedly seems to be the blocking of the mental health facility in East End opening. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If you could give me a call at 1-800-534-8255 or 949-8037 or 949-6990. You can also WhatsApp us at 925-3261. We'll be having open line at least until the end of the show today, so please do give us a call, share us your thoughts. It doesn't have to be on this topic exactly either. I'd love to hear what you have to say. A couple of things I do want to mention before I go back and onto that topic. One being that Heroes Day is around the corner, and they are still looking for food vendors, or you have at least just over 24 hours to apply to be a food vendor for Heroes Day. So at 5 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, January 13th, that is the deadline to apply. Documents to apply to be a food vendor for Heroes Day, they're available by emailing nationalevents@gov.ky or by collection from the Cayman Islands Government Administration Building Reception Desk. Late bids will not be accepted, meaning anything after, let's say, 5:01 p.m. tomorrow will not be accepted. For additional info, if you were looking to be a food vendor for Heroes Day, you can contact the protocol office at 244-8965 or again by emailing nationalevents@gov.ky. If I was you and I'm looking to be a food vendor and I have only until tomorrow, don't email them. Maybe don't even call them. Go down to the Government Administration Building Reception Desk and get the documents that you need and fill it out. That's what I would do. You want to be on it, you get on it. You have just over 24 hours to get your information in to be a food vendor for Heroes Day, which is Monday, January 23rd. Now, if I go back to my topic for mental health, and I guess the reasons, well, we'd like to know the reasons as to why the facility, the mental health facility in East End has not yet been opened. We would like to know what the obstacles are that apparently the senior civil servants might be facing, because it is alleged that whoever these senior civil servants are within the Ministry of Health are blocking the facility from opening. There's been no staffing plans, no job descriptions written, clearly not even advertised. And I don't know, it just baffles me that when you have a facility like this opening, and you know it's opening, why these steps wouldn't have been done parallel to the actual facility being ready. Why wouldn't you have the personnel ready to go? It just doesn't make any sense. Anybody with a business knows that you don't wait another year to find your staff when your space is open and ready for business. You're losing money in that sense, right? So, not that I'm saying that this is a for-profit thing. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me why the facility would not be staffed as yet and opened, since it could be, since this is a very dire thing in the Cayman Islands. We know of the, I'm sure a lot of people have seen the videos being circulating on different social media platforms via WhatsApp. We have seen the video of some teenagers throwing a firework into Burger King on West Bay Road, and you see, it lights up a little small explosion in Burger King. It could have been very, very serious. Some people do have cuts and burns and are being treated with that. I think we're lucky that there hasn't been a real serious injury from that. But what would possess anybody to throw a firecracker into a fast food facility? Anywhere, into a car, into a home, into a school? Why would you do that? Is there a cool... I don't know about this. I didn't grow up like that. So is there some sort of a cool factor, some points you get? It doesn't make any sense to me. Luckily, for the community and for the people, the victims from that attack, I don't know what else to call it, the teenager who threw the firework into Burger King has been identified, so I guess that will be dealt with accordingly. Hopefully it will be dealt with accordingly. But then that ties into your mental wellness, your mental health. Is there some underlying issue for this really crazy disruptive behavior? Are things happening with our youth that are not being addressed? And is it because we don't have the proper facilities to address these issues? How would you feel as a parent getting a phone call that your son threw a firework into a fast food restaurant and it exploded and some people got injured? And you're responsible for this child. Perhaps they're not quite an adult yet. They haven't hit that age. Is it 18 in the Cayman Islands? I think it's 18, right? What do you do as a parent? And why do we want to immediately blame the parents? I don't think parents are to be blamed immediately for the actions of your child. You could raise your children and give them everything in the world, all the opportunities in the world, all the comforts in the world, all their desires that they've ever wanted, and they will still make a decision to stray and do something else because they're chasing a certain life or lifestyle for themselves. Doesn't mean that what you taught them isn't in them. They've just made a decision that you never, ever, ever would have thought that that's your child. So why are you now, as the parent, to be blamed for your child's actions? Are they not old enough? If we are allowing them to make decisions for applying for university and colleges and make those really big life decisions, let's say they make the wrong one, are we responsible as parents for the decision that they made? I think we're treading a very fine line when we sit there and say, you know what, we got to look at the parents and blame the parents for this. I think that the root is much more deeper than that, and I don't think it lies entirely with parenting. Absolutely, in some cases, in parenting, you could say, well, I get why the kid acts like that and why the child does this, that, and the other. Look at his mom and dad. Look at how he was raised. I get that. But you also have kids who come from that kind of a really toxic upbringing or a not so good of a environment that you're brought up in. You have children and teenagers that come from that blossom into really well-rounded members of society that contribute and also take care of their community and become a great success in life. So that's why I'm saying that you can't always blame the parent. It's that person who makes their individual choice. But what are we doing to help these kids anyways when we know they're going through it? What do we have for them? Right now, we don't have a mental health facility that's opening. I know that much. So with having this facility open and progressing mental wellness in the Cayman Islands, wellness entirely, looking at people and saying, are you dealing with something and how you're not dealing with it well? Can we try to find a solution and can we try to go on this path to see if you'll benefit from it, if this works for you? When we don't have the facilities and resources to be able to offer this to our youth who are supposed to be taking care of us, those are the generations that are supposed to be taking care of us. We're looking to them to continue leading this country and people. But it's like we're doing a disservice to them when we're not even providing them with resources that not only they need, but adults need. So those are some of the things that are on my mind when I think about mental health, mental wellness, mental health. And then I look at some of the stuff that's happening with the youth in Cayman today, what they're getting into. What kids have to go through in school and COVID and having to do school from home and then being brought back into school and then yanked back out. And it's just, there's so much unrest in that. And it's hard to find a way forward, and it's hard to find, I guess, like a schedule in life. Systems work. When I was younger, I would hate to admit that systems work and I need to get up at a certain time and do a certain thing and form certain habits. I would hate to admit that, but right now, in my early 40s, systems work, and I rely on them because that's what keeps me focused and that's what gets me going. We need to have some systems in place. We need to have facilities in place that can address issues in society when we see things going wayward. We need to be able to support each other. Those are my thoughts, and I think I didn't have anybody give me a call on that segment right there, so I do hope after the commercial break you will. The numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp me at 925-3261.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
They say variety is the spice of life. And that's why at Subway, we're introducing the new Boneless Hot Sub. Say what? The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new Boneless Hot Sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
New year, new arrivals at Tomlinson Furniture and the Mattress Gallery. Modern and stylish bedroom sets are up to 20% off. Save up to $600 on Beauty Rest Black mattress sets and iComfort mattress sets, including adjustable bases. Our Palliser shipment of quality sofas, sectionals, and sleepers has also arrived with great family-friendly steam-resistant fabrics. Discover all the new arrivals, including plush beanbags. Save now until January 31st, only at Tomlinson Furniture and the Mattress Gallery, corner of Hospital and Walkers Road.
Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
Listening to the general public.
Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
there are more questions than answers.
Waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks this afternoon, and I might just end the show a little early today because I need y'all to call. You don't want to just listen to me talk. I'm not even ready to just talk to myself. That's how I feel. I do have a message from somebody, which thank you for sending us a WhatsApp. You can send your thoughts via WhatsApp at 925-3261. And I would just like to read I want to read the message, but I'm also a little worried if I should reread it before I read it. You know what I'm saying? I should pre-read it before I read it. But I'm just going to read it, so here we go. Hi, Kathy. I applaud that lady who called in earlier regarding the mental health facility, or lack thereof, and Dr. Lockhart's resignation. For years, we have been promised improved facility, but I guess that those facilities are not seen as urgent because mental health is not talked about openly, despite the fact that there have been suicides and attempted suicides. I remember when Dr. LaHaye of blessed memory was here, and he, in his final report before he left here, recommended the improved facility because there was a dire need for it. That, if my memory serves me as well, was in the early 1990s. The early 1990s. And here we are in 2023. Facility actually built but can't be opened for lack of staff. That is crazy. This is the wonderful Cayman Islands where we are encouraging others to visit. Please, we say our people are our asset. Let's make that true with provision for up-to-date mental health facility. And that was a thought that came in via WhatsApp by one of our listeners. Thank you so much for your thoughts and for sending them in, and I completely, absolutely agree with you. So from your memory, Dr. LaHaye in the 1990s had written and recommended that an improved facility or a new facility would be needed for mental health. And here we are, some 33 years later, and it hasn't been open. So it's not just lack of staff. I want the person who sent the message, and I want them to know it's not just lack of staff. It's lack of planning to be ready to be opened. So they worked on the facility and everything, on that part of it, but not the actual staff who need to run it and how it's going to be managed. And that again should be a very grave concern to people, because if they cannot even get that part right, how are they going to manage this facility? And then what's going to happen when it comes to cuts? Are we going to start cutting the staff from there, from a place that hasn't been managed from the beginning before it's even opened? I don't know. We'll see you. We'll see. And you're very welcome. I'm glad you sent the message, and I was glad to be able to read it out there. So we might end the show early. Nobody's given us a call. 1-800-534-8255. That might not be working so well. So try 949-8037 or 949-6990. Again, you can WhatsApp me at 925-3261. And I'm sorry if I butchered Dr. LaHaye's name, but I hope I got it right. So I was trying there. Not familiar with that doctor, but thank you for anybody who corrected me. Susan, I know you got some calls there, but I was hoping it was for on air, but you know, they like to tease me like that, I guess. An important point was made by the caller before we went to the 1 p.m. break, and she had stressed that it's not necessarily your elected officials, although every election year that comes in every 4 years, when that cycle happens, there's always that we need change, blah, 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 blah. But nobody's ever really held accountable. Again, like, I'm just going to say that nobody's ever held accountable. It just doesn't happen. So y'all have to figure out what it means to hold somebody accountable. What does that mean? And how do we do it? As I understand, and as was expressed in the Cayman News Service article that I read in between 12:15 and 12:30, that the actual minister, Minister Turner, for the Ministry of Health, is very much in support and wants this thing opened as well. But it's the senior civil servants underneath her that the caller had also emphasized. There's some institutional circle of, I'm not going to use the right word, so I'm not going to say it. But there's this weird little club, this institutional little club that's happening in a senior level of government, where a lot of the blockage, a lot of, they want to say red tape, bureaucracy, blah, blah. it's dragging your feet. It's not wanting things to happen. But a very important question raised to me by Susan, why wouldn't they want this opened? Why wouldn't you move to open this? So we do have to see what these obstacles are that the senior civil servants are, that are perhaps hindering them from opening this facility. We have to hear from them as well, and I hope we do. In fact, I challenge them to come and join Dwayne on Talk Today, along with Dr. Lockhart, or perhaps somebody else from the Mental Health Commission, to speak very openly in a very real way about what's going on. It's not going to happen because people like to have a very rehearsed speech and answers to what they're going to say. Government likes to control their message very much. You very rarely will find government sitting at a table with somebody that will challenge their views. They do not accept those invitations. I've tried. But that's what we need. We need real, open discussion about what is going on. Because these are our people that we're speaking about. Our greatest asset. And if we're not investing in our people, what are we investing in? Our image? I'm just curious. So those are my thoughts so far. I have somebody else who sent me a WhatsApp and said, yes, Dr. LaHaye was another lovely doctor. So it seems like Cayman has had some doctors that they're really trying to push for change and bring progress. And it's very frustrating when you're just met with, brick walls once you get to a certain point. And so what do? Do you just stay on that same horse, or do you get off that horse and, go bareback on another one and ride that into the sunset and do your thing how you know you can do it? So sometimes that's what you just got to do. Get in your own lane. So moving from that, since we only have a couple minutes left on the show, it looks like we might end around 1:30ish. Moving on from that, if you do want to make your calls, give us a call at 949-8037, 949-6990, or WhatsApp us at 925-3261. Also reported this week, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard or seen the stats on Operation Winter Guardian. So for December of 2022, there was 253 crashes. That's pretty crazy. 253 crashes in December alone, including one fatality. I'm going to come back to Operation Winter Guardian stats. I believe we have a caller, Susan? And we do. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you today?
Pretty good. Can I change your subject a little bit?
Go ahead. Absolutely. Open line.
Okay. I just want to say that, we got that cleanup program here. Nice, what do you call it? Nice program?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, we got that going here in the Cayman for some time now, and it's only a certain time of the year they're doing it, and they continue now for a week or two, I understand. But I just find out now that our cleanup system for Georgetown, I guess, we got a company who's going to be cleaning our streets in Georgetown. A well-known company in the island is going to be, I've seen it myself, cleaning our streets up in the morning, sweeping up in whatever, like what our men did many years ago that's practically retired now. And now we got this nice program going on, and they're only working for a certain amount of time. So I was just wondering, why did the government go and get a company to come in to clean our streets on a regular days when we got a nice program? Why did they get a nice program put together and let these same guys who need weekly and daily work to do, why ain't they out here cleaning our streets than giving subleasing out the streets to a company that has been established in the Cayman Islands for many, many, many years? You follow me?
I'm following you. I have one possible reason in my mind as to why.
You know, one person. I mean, you want to share
cheaper labor.
Cheaper labor.
That would be.
But when we cheaper labor, you mean with the guys that is cleaning now, or the company that they go on and bring out to clean our streets on a regular basis?
The company. No.
I don't very much that that's a cheaper company than bringing up our own people that are here needs a job so bad. And these guys that doing the streets right now, there's a nice cleanup. They are using a machete. They ain't using no weed whacker and no whatever. They're using a machete. So why is it that they can't put on a uniform, and why can't we get a local guy do the civil business and bring his workers out on a daily basis to clean our streets on a regular basis, and instead of giving it to a man that already went through the mill here and came out business-wise, no disrespect to him. And it's not even our men that's going to be cleaning the street. And I'm not racist, and I'm not saying that they can't clean our street, but the fact of the matter is we got people here in a nice program who has to wait every year to get 2 and 3 weeks of work when the year got 365 days in it. This company can have a job for 365 days a year, and our people is only having for part-time Christmas time. It is so ridiculous, man. I want to stick a pin there and say something more to you, and I'll let you go.
No, keep saying it. Keep.
Over there by the security center by the education department.
Mm-hmm.
And you know there's hides and sundown in there, and then there's the taxi dispatch, okay? Now, since they built that security center there, they are using the left side and the right side, and what you got to do is squeeze yourself through the middle of the road to get in and out, or stop and wait for a car to come through for you to go through.
Yep.
I don't know how they get the permission to use both sides of the road. I don't know how planning could make them go and put such a building there and didn't have sufficient parking. Now the taxi drivers in their big buses, when they are up there in the morning time from 5:30, trying to go to get their stuff organized to go to work, police can come and warn them and tell them if they don't come off the road from parking where they park, and they could end up giving them a ticket. You understand? So I want to know what is going down. Who is fighting against who, and why do we have to live in so much misery to get back and forth? We have to go on a daily basis, regardless if it's taxi or no taxi. You understand where I'm coming from? So I just want to reach out and ask the police department, what are they going to do about that security center there by education department with the parking? It is not fair to nobody to have both sides blocked. And people, so the island is parking on these sidewalks that they built for you to walk on. Because people have no place to park in their rental places. They are parked on the main street. Now they're parking in the park. At the end of the night, they're taking the car and put it in the park until morning. Now, if kids go there now and vandalize the car, the first thing I say,
yep.
You know, children vandalize their car. That park belongs to the children, not a car park to be putting a car in to keep there till morning. I don't know what the government, past, present, future, who we got to complain to, and something needs to be done. Yep. And that security center needs cleaning up rapidly. I called the police department this morning. Couldn't get through. Called 911. They told me to call so-and-so. I said, well, they got a new number or what? Yes, they got a new number. When I called the number, started talking to a lady. She said she can transfer me to somebody else. When I got transferred, I got a voicemail. This island, you can't even communicate with the law. Anyhow,
definitely not. I agree with you on that one from my own personal experiences as of late. I've had 911 call me back to confirm my address that I gave them 3-4 times. So I don't even, and then confirm again. I'm sitting there like, wow.
You could have got a come shell and blow it to the police station. They would understand it then, I bet you.
I want to say the road, I forget the name of that road right there. It's not. Is it Printers Way? Okay, thank you. It was on the tip of my tongue there, Printers Way. And what that little center is called where all those new businesses, and I forget now what it's called.
That is called the security center, I believe it's called.
No, I don't think so. The security center is in there. That's one of the companies that occupy that complex, right? But I absolutely agree with you, because I go in there, I don't every once in a while, maybe once a week or twice a week or so, we're in the area. Sometimes I have to park down the road down by Island Vet, which is, it's not that far down, but it's like 2 complexes over. You could kind of measure it like that. Because I can't see when I'm coming out of the complex and I'm turning left to go on to North Sound Road, I cannot see because the cars are parked right up to the edge of the driveway.
Yes.
And yeah, it's bottleneck. You have to wait for the people driving off North Sound Road, and it's a mess, and it's poor planning. I keep saying it. I've been saying it for years. Poor planning. Yes,
very poor planning. And when it's going to get cleaned up, we don't know, because it seems like we got some laws here, but it doesn't apply to anyone. Everybody's doing their own thing. And I wonder sometimes, why do we have a police department? Why do we have a government? Because the government drives the street every day, and you want to tell me they got their eyes closed to what's happening? Look at the Port Authority. Look at the Royal Pier. They got visitors coming off the cruise ship down there. And what you got to walk in to get these visitors and bring into your car is unbelievable.
That's true, yeah.
Your rugs is filthy. They got one of those machines that can sweep the road. They don't take it to Royal Pier. They got the fire trucks with the big old holes that probably not busy one morning could go down and hose that place down. We are trapping pure dirt into our vehicles on a daily basis when you got to go down to that Royal Pier. And another thing, I got to stress this again. They gone and changed the arrival of people at that pier to go up to get their people. Only 2 tour and 2 beach can go up at a time and pull their people down to the vehicles. When you could have 6 taxis there, 6 beach and 6 tour, or everybody could have gone at one time. Now they're gone to 4. We're not in COVID situation no more.
So can I ask you, how long does it take then for the 2 taxis to go and grab their people? How long of a process is that?
It just depends on how they're moving. It just depends how many boats it is. Sometimes it could take all 45 minutes. Sometimes it could take 50 minutes. Sometimes it could take 10 minutes.
Okay, so 10 to 45, for example.
Just depending on the type of boat it is. Some boats move faster than others. When I say move faster, are more beach people.
But that's also a disservice to the visitors.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could be moving a lot faster is what you're saying. That's why I'm asking for how long it takes to...
Exactly, and if they need to put back up the amount of people that they had, they're pulling the people from at the port to get into the vehicle. Instead of putting 4 up there, they would still say 12 was going up there. 12 tour and 12 beach. Now it's only two beach and 2 tour can go up there. The other cars are there line off, they're waiting to go up when these guys pull their people. You understand? But it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
They keep changing these systems, and all they're doing is just making you become a licensed beggar, and it's so disrespectful to everybody. The visitors say that they're running some traffic, and here they are coming to the Cayman Islands and getting into traffic. They say when they first came to Cayman, they never had that problem. Now Cayman is over traffic. They say it's so stressful. But we can lose tourism. Believe me, we can lose tourism sooner or later because the visitors are getting set up, and furthermore, some people have passed on and some not. But the fact of the matter is, the ones that we got coming now, they are very aggressive.
Good God,
very rude.
I can't wait till they go to the Bahamas or and deal with their traffic.
They are so rude. The words that they come in your vehicle and say, cross and carry on, and it's grandchildren disrespecting grandparents, and oh my God, it is ridiculous. We got a different crowd of people coming since this COVID opened back up in this COVID situation.
A lot of people we've lost. I'm one of them. I've lost a lot of my patience. I know that. I'm trying to gain that peace back a little bit. Caller, I want you to know that somebody WhatsApped and said that the female caller has my full support. She calls with frustration about reality. So we have somebody saying thank you for the call that you made and what you're saying. And
thank you too.
We were supposed to go to a 1:30 commercial break, so I didn't want to let you go because I appreciate that you giving the call and you sharing your thoughts and getting it out there. And hopefully, I don't know when planning is going to get better. I hope for it.
You know when it's going to get better? Let me tell you when it's going to get better.
When?
It's going to get better when they close it down and revamp it. Just like immigration, they got to close it down and revamp it. That's when it's going to get better. But until then, it's going to be worse than what it is. Can you imagine you can build a apartment or a particular home today with no back door, but many years ago you had to have a back door? Now you don't need a back door to your home. Can you just imagine?
It's odd.
You can build a 5-story condo next to a cemetery, but a home that has a second floor and a loft, whatever the word is, and you want to put an outside door to it, your neighbor's going to call planning on you? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come
people are real bad mind. That's for sure. We gotta go. I gotta go to our final break, so I'm gonna let you go, caller. Thank you for giving us a call on Talk Today this afternoon and just sharing your thoughts and your frustrations. And we feel them. Trust me, I feel them as well. The printer way one especially. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. We had another WhatsApp message come in, and this person saying the reason they think that people are reluctant to call is because they're fed up that nothing is being done when they voice their complaints. And boy, do I understand that as well. I very much understand that. But being silent doesn't get us anywhere either. And we have a voice, and we should be able to use it. Some people have very famously oppressed people from using their voice. And what we don't want is to fall into that cycle that they do want us to fall into, which is don't use your voice. Absolutely use your voice. And to quote one of my favorite entertainers of all time, which is Madonna, express yourself, don't suppress yourself. And let's go to our final commercial break with that.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Water Authority Cayman would like to advise customers along Shamrock Road of a planned service interruption on Sunday, the 15th of January, between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. to facilitate infrastructure work in the area. The service interruption will impact customers on the following roads: Shamrock Road from Pondexter Road to Midsummer Drive and Cascade Drive. Motorists are encouraged to drive with caution when you are in the area to protect your safety and the safety of the Water Authority staff. The Water Authority apologizes for any inconvenience these works may cause and thanks the public for your patience and understanding.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from January 12th to the 21st at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.portercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Increase your chances to win during the Rubis Pure Joy promotion. Don't miss Double Stamp Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jose's Rubis. Reflections offers you gas for less, and each time you fuel up at Jose's Rubis, you can enter to win weekly prize giveaways, plus the grand prize of a beautiful piece of land in Grand Cayman.
I'm sorry, what?
What did you say? Yes, Double Stamp Tuesdays and Thursdays are back at Jose's. Lower priced fuel, awesome prizes, and your chance to win a $150,000 piece of land. Don't forget, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jose's Rubis, you not only get gas for less, you get double stamps to enter to win a $150,000 piece of land in the Rubis Pure Joy promotion. Be entered to win in the Rubis Pure Joy promotion by January 27th.
New year, new arrivals at Tomlinson Furniture and the Mattress Gallery. Modern and stylish bedroom sets are up to 20% off. Save up to $600 on Beauty Rest Black mattress sets and iComfort mattress sets, including adjustable bases. Our Palliser shipment of quality sofas, sectionals, and sleepers has also arrived with great family-friendly steam-resistant fabrics. Discover all the new arrivals, including plush beanbags. Save now until January 31st, only at Tomlinson Furniture and the Mattress Gallery, corner of Hospital and Walkers Road.
Listening to the general public.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
There are more questions than answers.
waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. So yes, we are still ending the show a little earlier, so either by 2 p.m. or just shortly before 2 p.m. we're going to wrap up Talk Today this afternoon. I'm Kathy Miller and I'm filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks this afternoon, and hopefully he will be back on the show with us tomorrow. So we're going to hear from Dwayne. And earlier before the show started, I told Dwayne, hey Dwayne, I'm going to talk about the mental health facility and the Mental Health Commission and Dr. Lockhart's resignation from the Mental Health Commission. I want to introduce this, topic. Have you spoken about it yet, right? And he said, no, Kathy, go ahead. I think he indicated that Dr. Lockhart has reached out to Dwayne, so we're hoping that he will be on Talk Today. I'm hoping as soon as possible, Dr. Lockhart, since the subject is a hot one. And if you haven't actually reached out to Dwayne, and somebody gives you this message or you hear this, please do reach out to us, or hopefully we will reach out to you so we can have a better understanding and get the words directly from you, because everything that I've repeated today came from the Cayman News Service article. So if anybody wants to read the article and see what I was talking about, please go to CaymanNewsService.com, Radio Cayman, of course, radiocayman.gov.ky, but our coverage on that is going to be a little briefer. So if you want a little bit more details, that's why I say to you, go to Cayman News Service for the article that I had read earlier. And right before our last caller, who was sharing some of her frustrations, which, I definitely felt, and we had some people WhatsApp and say, hey, I absolutely feel this caller and what her frustrations are, and speaking to the reality of what's going on in Cayman. We need to talk about these things. Don't feel like you can't say your peace of mind or you can't share what you got to share. It feels good to get it out. Just get it out. Before she called, I was giving some stats on Operation Winter Guardian, which was put on by the RCIPS in December 2022. So Operation Winter Guardian is when they kind of ramp up their presence in Cayman, and what they have recorded was 253 car crashes in the month of December. 253. That's... Oh. Y'all need to stay home and stop driving. For one, a lot of you can't even drive. You go very slow and you lollygag. It's like Sunday driving where you're looking at like the flowers on the side of the road when no, focus on the road in front of you. Just focus. Please focus. We will all get to where we're going. 253 crashes is absolutely crazy. Y'all need to do better. There was one fatality. Very unfortunate, especially during the holiday season. That's something that's so avoidable. We just got to do better, everyone. There was 14 people lost last year from road fatalities. Some people whose lives were nearly lost. Luckily they survived, but, lost some of their limbs. We don't need more of that. We got to be safer. We got to be more supportive of each other when we're going out. No, you can call somebody. People out there who know that I no longer drink, you can call me. I will drive you home. I have no problem doing that. I'm happy to do that. Also, in relation to the increase of robberies from November, December, there was 5 search warrants that were issued and a gun and ammo were seized, along with masks, vehicles, and other items the police believe are in connection with criminal activity. And thank God about that. So if one thing those roadblocks did accomplish was finding some of those criminals that are out there that really were driving us crazy over the holiday season. We know that it's going to be an increase in robberies or burglaries But it was pretty wild what was happening. And I'm very thankful that the RCIPS were able to get a little bit of control with that. One of my neighbors called me the other day, freaking out because they're raising her rent by $250. The rent was raised last year and the year before that. Absolutely freaking out because it's a pretty high raise with zero notice. Now, the Cayman Islands Insurance Association has confirmed that customers in Cayman can expect their property insurance premiums to go up by this year by as much as 30%. You can kind of look anywhere from 10 up to 30%. So when people's property insurance increases, it'll trickle down to those who are renting, unfortunately. And then the rental prices will increase. And it's so crazy because we're already paying almost double than what we should for a lot of these places that we're living in. Y'all absolutely don't need $3,000 for a house that doesn't even have a fan in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot more, I guess, rate increases and cost of living continually increasing. So we got to do some proper planning, brace for it, be ready, understand that this could happen. What is your game plan? A lot of us don't have options for a game plan. We're hoping that this doesn't happen to us. Because while, at least in the civil service, while there was like a cost of living addition for our pay, that doesn't do anything. It absolutely doesn't do anything. I'm glad I got it. I'm not saying take it away. But that didn't do anything when our CUC doubled. Not $100 increase a month in pay, but doubled for our CUC. And now insurance premiums have gone up. And we know that prime for mortgage also increased in December. But we knew that was happening because there was 4 increases in 2022. So we knew that little increase was coming. We don't know about other increases that could happen. So all I can say to you is try to look ahead, try to plan for this. And just try to support each other as much as we can. Because we know times are really hard. We had to deal with COVID and being locked inside for a good while, and then now coming outside, and everything is so much more expensive. We can't get supplies and food as regular as previous years. Things are just a lot harder. Life isn't the same as we know it, and our mental health has taken a toll all around, from little kids, teenagers, adults to seniors. And then we're not even addressing those issues either, right? We've seen from COVID 72% increase in suicide rates in teens. That's just teens. And we are delaying the opening of a mental health facility. We have got to get it together, Cayman. Especially those that can make things happen. You have got to get it together. You have got to stop dragging your feet. You have got to start making yourself accountable and speaking to the public and informing them of your progress on projects. Every year, government has certain projects they want to get out. We as a community, as residents, as citizens, we need to hold government accountable and to pressure them to get things done. Ask the hard questions. Do not suppress your voice. Get out there, get noticed, say what you gotta say. This is your country. These are your people. And these are your greatest assets and investment. We have to invest in each other, and we have to take care of each other. Because what's going on right now, that's not happening. We've got to come together better and stop the pointing of fingers so much. Figure out what happened. Let's move on, and let's make something happen for us now to move forward. And with that note, I'm going to end today's show. I want to thank anybody who has called in, especially Lorna, who called in around 12:30ish and shared some of her experiences, especially struggling with depression. And a woman being able to share that on air, it's important. So support like that. She's sharing her experience. If you know Lorna, support her, talk with her. It was a big deal for her to be able to say that to us on air, and we shouldn't look at her away and like, well, she's something wrong with Lorna over there. No, something's wrong with you for pointing the finger at her, because you can't face the demons that are bringing you down. She was able to, and that's the kind of strength that we have to support. And with that, we're going to end today's show. Thank you for everybody who called in, WhatsApped, the nice messages I got about hosting today's show. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. And hopefully we will be back with Dwayne tomorrow on Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.